It's not in the below zero, so we're having a good day. My style consultant wants me to focus more because some of you come on and then you go off, and she thinks that means you don't like my joke. My style consultant wants me to focus more, which is fine. Some of you come on and then so I'm going to pare it down to direct mail and direct marketing today. There she goes with a thumbs up. So let's take a moment for our marketing moment sip. Chill. It's going to be a great show today. Good morning, Phoenix. It's going to be a great show because we got mail and we got direct response. And it's going to be fun. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Let's dig in. And here's how Costco attracted its first members. Here we go. Nice cup of coffee there, Phoenix. Okay. Costco, I believe this actually is their original store. I've been there many times. I don't know, half a dozen times at least. And there's a big set of railroad tracks over here and fences and stuff. So it's not your typical retail location. I believe somebody in San Diego told me that the precursor to Costco, actually, that first store was down in San Diego. So there was another thing started there that was somewhat similar membership program. But the first, this is, I'm sure this is the first Costco. And what they did was they were doing small businesses. They were doing like, it was called Costco Wholesale Club. And it was a way for small businesses to get items that they wouldn't normally be able to get from a wholesaler, but they could go and pick it up. So it was kind of like taking a page from Walmart, where Sam Walton would call up manufacturers and say, could I buy direct from you? And they said, well, if you come and get it, I suppose you could. Normally we send it to the wholesaler, and the wholesaler sends it out to you. And Sam Walton had proposed to Ben Franklin. I believe he was a store manager at Ben Franklin. He said, why don't we just go get it right from the manufacturer? And they said, oh, Sam, if you're so smart, why don't you start your own store? He didn't have much money. That's why it's Walmart instead of Walton Mart, because it saved him two characters or something like that. So anyway, so they were doing business to business, but thought, well, what if we let consumers in? And so they took out a full-page advertisement in the Seattle Post Intelligencer. What a name for a newspaper. And the ad answered basic questions such as, what is Costco Wholesale Club? Why are Costco Wholesale Club prices so low? The ad explained, we pay warehouse rents, we have a cement floor and open ceilings. Our advertising, except for grand opening announcements, is very limited and is only sent out by direct mail to our members. I like that direct mail was mentioned in this article. And my guess is, since it didn't, this is their first consumer ad inviting consumers to come. So my guess is that before this ad, they really only did direct mail. And so you have it here first. You have to read between the lines, but I believe Costco was founded on mail. Now, of course, it's retail, but retail and mail go together. And, I flew down to Bentonville, Arkansas, to call on Walmart once, Sam's Club. And we tried to explain to them how powerful this could be, and they didn't do it. And I got caught in an ice storm, but survived. Okay, so now let's go to article number 2. This is the real focal point of today's show. And it's from Digital Journal, which I thought was interesting right on its own. Okay, so in a world of digital, which is all you hear is digital, it's about the underground world of direct response copywriting. And it makes an interesting twist about halfway through the article, or maybe 2/3 through. Okay, Dolph Lyon, the guy here, is a direct response copywriter. Okay, and he's based in South Haven, Michigan. And he helps audiologists, consultants, coaches, and and course creators improve their practice or business sales by applying little-known direct response marketing principles. I love that. Little known. I wonder if he worked on this. Techniques that were developed in the early 1900s by mail-order advertising legends like Claude Hopkins. Now, I'm going to pause right there and get you over to the Claude Hopkins book that's available anytime you want. It's at scientificadvertising.com and scientificadvertising.com. We can't see the header here. And it's free. You can download it. As far as I know, they don't bother you. I've downloaded it. I think I'm going to download it again. I think I'm going to commit to reading it 7 times, at least in the next, by the end of February, I'm going to read it 7 times, okay? And I hope you'll read it with me. And we'll do that. We can do that together as a, I have another question. I'm having LinkedIn sign me in like 20 times a day. They keep signing me out and asking me for verification and all sorts of other stuff. And I'm not quite sure why. But anyway, LinkedIn is signing me out is really what's going on. So let me know if LinkedIn is doing that to you as well. But anyway, so I'm going to commit to reading this thing 7 times. Why? Because David Ogilvy says nobody at any level should be allowed to have anything to do with advertising until he's read this book 7 times. I know I've read it at least twice, but I'm going to read it again 7 more times. It changed the course of my life, David Ogilvy said. And of course, I also highly recommend Confessions of an Ad Man by David Ogilvy. I had it as a book on tape, and it was absolutely fantastic. And I used to listen to it over and over and over. So you can get that book, but it wasn't, I have to correct this digital journal, it wasn't techniques that were developed by Claude Hopkins, not at all. Claude Hopkins makes the case in the book that these are techniques that have been developed for 50 years before. So going back into the 1870s, he says, people were doing this stuff, and they've been doing it for 50 years, and they've been making a lot of money, and advertising should take note of it. So he's the one who kind of grouped it together into a book. But before that, the secret mail order companies had developed these techniques. And so he just lays them out. He said, don't credit me, credit these pioneers in mail order. And I want you to really think about that. So this is a book, most of the editions are from 1922, 1923 in there, but I'm guessing I think his first edition was around 1920. And so what we have is a book that's 100 years old, basically. And he credits 50 years of history before that. And because this is a classic and it's been around forever, we know that it's been a proven practice throughout. So in 2003, and I don't know how they picked that particular day, because I read it way before that, copywriters like Dolph, Russell Brunson, Frank Kern, Craig Clemens started applying these direct response marketing techniques on the internet, resulting in skyrocketing sales overnight. But technology has evolved, so maybe it doesn't matter anymore. The internet went through many changes as a medium, but this author says making it more important to hire a copywriter that adheres to the same proven principles that have grown global brands for hundreds of years. The internet boom created room for direct mail advertising success, making it more effective than ever. Advertising dollars have even migrated to the internet, leaving mailboxes prime for taking. What is that? This is in Digital Journal, for heaven's sakes. This is in Digital Journal, and what are they saying? You should try mail. They're not just saying direct response. They're saying you should try mail in Digital Journal. And people don't think a tsunami is coming. I'm telling you, and you got to find people who know what they're doing. That's the worst thing. If you say try mail and people use internet techniques, try to put an internet outreach or an email in a envelope, it's not the same. You need somebody that understands these techniques, right? And worse yet, direct mail is the foundation for direct marketing, which means an iterative process. I've been talking about that. Oops, I turned my camera off. And I turned off the PDF instead of the YouTube. Anyway, so agencies limit, I want you to see I did this for real here. Mailboxes are prime for the taking. Digital Journal says mailboxes are prime for the taking. Go do mail. Digital Journal says go do mail. My gosh. Okay. Lyons was thinking of striking out on his own, but he thought maybe I could go work for ad agencies. I tried the same thing. He says agencies limit the use of classical direct response and direct marketing. They'll try mail, but they won't try the iterative process. They don't get it. In fact, that's how I discovered it. I discovered the foundational principles of direct marketing, testing, and iteration because the ad agency people said, well, we generate a response. They really did, and they do. They said, we do an ad, and people come to the store. Sales go up. Why isn't that direct marketing? Why isn't that direct response? And in a weird way, it is. But not what we're talking about at all. It's a completely different world. What we're talking about is split testing. What we're talking about is the scientific method. Hey, Ed, he downloaded it. Yay, Ed. I wish I got something for it. I don't. Let's read it together, Ed. How are you doing? Yeah, anyway, I heard that Velasquez, Ed used to work for Velasquez, I think, came out with a new Val pack called Sales, just called the word Sales. Well, if you're going to try that, you need to read this book too, okay? So ad agencies are anti-direct mail, direct response. They say it schlocks it up. You know, what if the ugly ad wins? And it often does. That's the fun part. Okay, so let's all read this together and turn over a new leaf where WDMA is going to focus as much as humanly possible on mail, direct response, direct marketing to help you all out, to give you value. So participate in this. David Ogilvy once said, the only guys who know what they're doing are the direct response guys. Everyone else is just guessing. And sometimes they're covering it up because they got it wrong. Just a new name. That's what I thought. Oh, save. I'm sorry. Well, that's probably better than sales. Thanks, Ed. Anyway, so we know what we're doing. We have proven track records. I'm going to reach out to Dolph. Cool name. Sounds Dutch. I wonder if he's Dutch. Anyway, Dolph, yes, he's got a website here. If you want the show notes, which you want today, if you want the show notes, then you want to subscribe on wdma.org/join. It's free to subscribe. You get the show notes. You get a lot of other stuff. There's actually, I think, in the members only, which I think you have access to, there's actually an article on what is direct marketing. And by yours truly, I think it's a good, thoughtful piece. I've been handing it out for decades. Have a great day. Like and share. Let me know what you think of the new serious me.